Nakamura. My name is Sage Blake. I'm a wanderer, storyteller, artist mature, and I'm feeling quite the ho-ho-ho. Mostly because I'm very fill up on... It's like I forgot how to speak. It's like I always forget how to speak. Nakamura. My name is Sage Blake. I'm a wanderer, storyteller, artist mature, and I'm feeling quite the ho-ho-ho. And again, it could just be the eggnog that I had. Virgin. What, do you think I was gonna drink on a work night? Sorry. Let alone drink, period. Alcohol is not my flavor. What is my flavor, however, is little Rivals of Ether. And last I checked, I did already plan a, I'm trying to remember. An event, actually. As of the... What day is it coming up? 23rd? No, 22nd, I think it was. Regardless, 22nd, we're going to be running our third, actually, Rivals of Ether night. And I figure, what better way to start off Rivals of Ether than by looking at some of the characters that have been submitted, not just in the last few months, but also for the upcoming Rivals 2 contest. More on that in a little bit. Kicking off our demo, we've got Welltaro, from the indie game known as, if I remember correctly, Downwell. Welltaro has a somewhat familiar moveset if you've been playing things like Fraymakers. Did you know? He actually is a guest fighter there. For the unfamiliar of how Downwell ends up working, the boots that our main character here has allow him to jump repeatedly in the air, depending on the amount of bullets he's got. He can always stock up to 8 at worst, and you can hold the jump button down in order to continually rise upward until you run out of shots. You will need to land eventually to recharge them. In terms of his kit, he's a mixed attacker, mostly ranged, but he does have some melee kit to him. Ideally, you'll want to use his melee kit to feather the opponent with jumping shots or otherwise. Then shut them down in a powerful attack. Yeah. Try that. In terms of specials, Up Special allows you to create a balloon. This balloon can explode when damaged, and it also reduces your gravity with jumps, making it easier to recover from the stage. After you've used it, it will take a while to recharge, so make sure to spend your resource carefully. For Side Special, Side Shot. The projectile is somewhat strong, but I wouldn't say it necessarily has killing potential. Gimping, definitely. And I guess I'll explain that term. Gimp means that you're effectively denying a person recovering the stage recovering from the edge of the stage by jailing them away from the edge. Yeah. Oh crap. That was a terrible demo of that character, though. Like, he has more capability than I'm actually giving him credit for. Shit, I just realized. Oops! I forgot that usually I end up trying to get myself killed in these because I play a lot of Rivals. Maybe with this additional challenge I can better demo the character. Up Special is a massive shot that it uses up half your meter, or sorry, 4 parts of your meter. It has its capability, but just in case, use it sparingly. It can also have some kill potential at higher percents, but it's not as recommended. Use it as a quick, more controllable way of returning to the stage, especially if you're close. I did not know you could wound Crag through that. Good to know. Ah! Try that. Actually, if I may, this does not feel like level 9 CPU either. Like, even if this character isn't exactly one I'm used to using, I feel like I'm doing reasonably well. Oh, crap. Welltaro can be a bit to get used to, specifically because of that secondary jump he's got. But he does have quite a bit of potential to him, especially with off-staging opponents. Not to mention, the shots that he uses to catapult himself upward deal damage and staggerless. You can use that as a quick means of racking up percentage more easily. Yeah. Down the well you go. Ah. I didn't realize I was second on the list. Shit. Contrary to popular belief, with all the characters in this entire pack, there aren't really that many memes. Ah, wait. Okay, fine. We'll submit that into evidence. For once, I'm actually not being a meme lord. And representing our case is Phoenix wrong. Or Phoenix right. And you have the right to collect evidence. Yep, you heard me right. This Phoenix Wright is, out of all the characters I've seen so far in Rivals of Aether, one of the most impressive ones I've ever seen. Because somehow, it almost, beat for beat, mimics the moveset of Phoenix Wright from, shit, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You can hit down special to collect evidence, which you can then fling with the side special. Collect 3 pieces of good evidence, noted by the yellow border as opposed to the orange border on it. And you can use the base special to lobby your case. In turnabout mode, all of your attacks change. In many cases, they gain range and additional power to them. Use this time to turn the tables. It's disgusting how easy it is to jail opponents. Crap. I meant to do that. I meant to do that. There are no objections here, Your Honor. There's nothing wrong with this case. Absolutely nothing. It's sandbagging. Definitely sandbagging. It's not like I could turn this entire case around in a single life. It's almost like I'm playing character right now. Phoenix Wright is known for getting himself into very dangerous situations and somehow being able to pull himself out of them. This is not one of those cases. Oh my god! This is... I think we're playing to a hung jury. Alright, I got us a retrial, this time in a different court of law. Let's see if we can actually do something here. Supposedly, there are 3 different types of evidence you can collect. Bad, neutral, and good. The neutral evidence can do things like heal you, provide buffs, that type of thing. At that, when you discard evidence, you will always start with the worst evidence possible. And at that, time for our turnabout. Just saying, that is such a safe jailing option, and it's disgusting. Oh. Chew on that. And I've still got a bit more turnabout left. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really get to use it. In terms of other specials that Phoenix has, well, the up special you've seen me use and bungle a lot, specifically because it's a very mechanically unusual special. It's recoil-based, much like Nesses in some cases. Essentially, you need to point yourself in the opposite direction of where you want to go. So if you want to go up, you gotta point Phoenix's finger downward. The explosion could also be used now to catapult yourself into the atmosphere, because inevitably, the evidence that you're submitting is not exactly admissible in court. Yeah. Oh, cool. Healing. Alright, time to put you away. Objection. I have all the evidence I need to take you down. The down air in turnabout mode actually has a spike box to it. That was perfect. Take that. Yeah, specifically because of all of these gimmicks that Phoenix has, he's a very tricky character that can easily turn the tide of a battle. Then again, what you expect from someone that Welltaro is infamous for using. At least partially because, supposedly, he's the worst character in, or if not one of the worst characters within the whole of MBC3. Thanks for the stun. Whoa! Ah, crap. Sorry, I'm used to characters that end up directing themselves into the way they're trying to go, as opposed to out of it. Now we get our strong attacks. There we go. Alright. Time to take Maya out for a burger. Or maybe sushi? Actually, a sushi burger would hit right about now. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe I should be arraigned for criminality of food. Inevitably, there was going to be at least one Undertale in this. I tried my best, but at the end of it, I had to give this character a bye, because her moveset is actually pretty interesting. Noelle here is a bit of a mid-range fighter. Very, very good recovery, but her big gimmick revolves around Frostbite. By using certain attacks, you can inflict stacks of Frostbite onto the opponent. At full stacks, they will freeze. Frozen opponents will give you a free combo. Ow! In terms of her kit, the basic attack is Ice Shot, or sort of Ice Shot. With good timing, you can create a Sephiroth-style explosion, which deals, if I remember correctly, 3 units of Frostbite? Her kit is very, very good. Yeah. Also very silly. Chew on that. For the side special, Ice Shower. The Ice Shower has strange range to it. Ah! Hey. Oh, jeez. The Ice Shower has a bit of strange range to it, and it's also not helped by the fact that you jump up into the air when you use it. Ah. But it can be useful for checking your opponent, and for getting quick stacks of Frostbite. Yeah. And lastly, Down Special. Down Special creates a wall of ice that you can hit enemies into. Ah, come on. I want to be able to demo what this ice wall does. Fine, whatever. I'd also like to point out, ice power is limited. You will regain it over time, but you're still going to need to use it wisely. jeez! I think I've shown enough of the character. It's at least partially obvious that some days I'm not cool under pressure. Hailing from the mysterious land of backpacks, we have Pac-Back. I mean Pac-Man. He's sporting a similar moveset to his iterations within Super Smash Bros. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Oh my god. Let me actually use a moveset. Please and thank you. Several aspects of his kit are also revised because, well, certain mechanics can't exactly be reliably done within Rivals of Aether. Yeah. Knock off. Yeah. I'd also like to point out, however, that Pac-Man's recovery in Rivals, specifically because of the lack of edge grab mechanic, feels even more dangerous here. Because, yes indeed, hitting essentially the springboard while it's red will set the character into recovery. I'd also like to point out, butt bounce as a down air is genius, and it's very handy. That taunt is adorable. How can you say no to that face? Bonus fruit returns, with most of the same properties per fruit, so if you're unaware, ow, melon is the slowest, but it deals the most damage. Apple's bounce. Key has the most knockback to it, if I remember correctly. The Galaxian has its weird spiral, etc., etc. The only issue is, since there are no items in Rivals of Aether, I don't think you can pick them up. Try that. The side special is also different. Again, as I mentioned, it's impossible to be able to replicate the same power pellet line that you could do in Smash Bros. So what they did instead was that Pac-Man will throw out a power pellet, and if it hits the opponent, you can input side special again at some point within the next, like, 6 to 8 seconds to dart to the opponent's location. They made it into a combo tool, essentially. I also gotta point out, the down special, Fire Hydrant, is just as dangerous as it used to be. If anything, it might be a little more dangerous. Toss out the Fire Hydrant, and it will spritz out a couple of water drips that can push around targets. You can also, if you deal enough damage to it, use it as a violent projectile. Pose for the fans. Ah! Whoop. Well, I recovered. Ow! Oh, no! It can still gimp you. Ah. No. Come on. Go away. Pac-Man became a Pac-Missile for a moment there. You think you're a funny man? Well, I don't exactly main Pac-Man. I know at least a few things on how he's useful. Wait, what? Okay, then. That was the last thing I was expecting. Case in point, the trampoline has successfully gimped its target. Those who know me know that I watch a decent amount of anime, so this one comes as no surprise, except to me. Because Micihiru has a surprisingly good kit. I was amazed. I wasn't expecting to see a character from a Studio Trigger anime end up a playable part of the roster. There may be some bias. In terms of her kit, base special allows her to bring herself closer to the opponent on delay, and then follow up with an attack. Up special, standard wing rise attack. It's got a simple angle. It shouldn't be that hard to jail if you know what you're doing. But it can also be used for good follow-ups, if you know how to use it. Side special is Ox Tackle. After tackling the opponent, you'll perform another follow-up attack. And lastly, down special. Basketball. You can stick an opponent into the basketball hoop to pin them in place for a short period of time. After you've used it once, I believe there's another special that allows you to toss out a basketball? I'm gonna need to look at the inputs on that. Just, I know you're able to plonk out a basketball at some point. Also, the net can be used to save your life from low angles. Depends on the arena. Oh, I guess it's in the air. The ball can interact with most attacks, much like bats. And you can also fling it out as a powerful projectile after it's been caught in the hoop. Nice try. Yeah. Also, adorable. Woo! While it does have a bit of a lag, Side Smash has a lot of range to it. More than most. You can use this as a safe means of jailing enemies that are close to the edge of the arena. Ah! Whee! Damn it. Yeah. And done. The one thing that I'm not as happy about. Generic end theme? Really? You could have used some night running. But, oh well. I guess the world will still begin to turn. Next up on the weird picks, we've got Silquey the Acrobat. Honestly, there's some jank to this moveset, but I wanted to include it anyway because the character's adorable, 1, and 2, there is potential with this type of kit. It's just not here. Mostly because some hitboxes are a bit strange, and some inputs get a little wonky too. Case in point, the up tilt. Down tilt has a dive box, forces you to dive, and I don't feel like that fits the character necessarily, or rather, their modus operandi. Generally, Silquey is a zoner. Also, Boomerang takes a while to charge. Ideally, you're going to be using things like the side special and the down special to set up traps, which you then will use to gimmick your opponent. The more you charge up the down special, the bigger this balloon will get. When it pops, and if the enemy is within range, they will take a decent amount of damage and get stunned. Yeah. Whee! Again, this is a character whose moveset isn't exactly my forte. They're an acrobatics character, as you'd expect. And me, I'm all about them heavies. Again, she does have kit. I just feel like a few bits of it needs to be retooled. Forward air, for example, it's not well explained, but it actually does have 3 hits to it, which you need to input separately each and every time. Ah. Again, she's not my moveset, but she's interesting. And I figured I'd include her mostly to demo something else. A character that takes acrobatics to a whole new level. Tears of the Kingdom Link. Yet again, this is a strange pick that I knew was in existence the last time I ran the Rivals contest thing. However, I decided not to include him, specifically because I was worried that his moveset was going to be a bit too similar to the Link that I already had in system. Not to mention, Tears of the Kingdom was relatively new, period, so I figure give it some time so that people can soak in and enjoy Tears of the Kingdom first before they take a look at the moveset here, which, mind you, is very dense and beefy. To start with, basic special, bow. Not impressive by itself, but that's because we haven't gotten to the rest of the kit yet. Side special, shield surfing. You can use this to bonk the opponent and make recovery a little bit easier on yourself. But again, there are more applications. Up special, or should I say up special, glide. When there isn't a soft platform above you, you will jump into the air a short distance and then slowly descend to the ground. However, one of the uniquenesses of this moveset is, again, specifically because Tears of the Kingdom mechanics, if there is a soft platform above you, then you'll rise to the top of that soft platform. It's situational in which you can use this to properly recover, but when you can, it's amazing. And facilitating that, down special. Down special whee, allows you to create an object. Fusion. By hitting down special again, you'll be able to throw out said object, and each one has its own perks. The tank here can be used a few different ways to distract targets. Also hit them. You can also use down special to trigger rewind, allowing you to cycle the object back to where it was over time. Yeah. There are a few different objects you can get this way. Bombs, there's that platform that I just showed off, the mini tank, and better still, all of the items you get to create this way allow you to link up with the other techniques. I'll show you what I mean. I can't believe we're actually using the practice stage for this one, but hear me out. Let's say we reuse this particular object. See what I did there? You summon out the object, and then if you hit the basic special, you'll spend that object on that specific technique. Mostly, it's specifically used for the down and side specials. The base and side special, I meant. Side special missile is a much better recovery than usual. Side special platform lets you create a platform where you're standing. Side special bomb allows you to explode the bomb underneath you. None of these abilities work with the up special, however. Speaking of characters that blew my mind, we have what is by far the most impressive and also complicated character in Rivals of Aether, Wes. This digital dummy has a lot to his kit, revolving around, of all things, code. He's a bit on the slippery side. Just keep that in mind. I'd also like to point out it's a really nice touch to have things like vectors and momentum apply to attacks, like that one. The sound effects are very charming too. Normally, you wouldn't expect much out of a character like this. He feels typical, simple, but there's a lot more to him that I'm actually letting on. Up special allows you to explode, launching you upward at an angle. Base special seems to just pin the target if they're above you, making it a bit of a situational attack, but it has its uses. Mostly referring to down special. And if anything, I'd also like to point out side special will not work because down special hasn't activated yet. Now we get to that. Every single value that I just input there was an input, by the way. When you've finally logged a string of 4 different lines of code, you can use side special to launch it as a missile. The more code you've lined up, the more powerful that missile gets. You can also use base special to apply the effects of the code you've written. Yeah, you heard me right! I did say this was going to be one of the most complicated characters in Rivals, period. And as a result, we're breaking out the training room explicitly for this guy, just so I can show all of the potential variables. If at any point you're dissatisfied with what you've written, you can stop to think about what you've done and rewrite your code. You could also choose to execute it on yourself as well as your opponents. In some cases, it might be a good idea just to string up a dummy set of zeros together, just so you can reset yourself to the base of the arena if you ever get knocked off and can't recover. Because I'll also mention, Wes's recovery is pretty pitiful. You can also save up your code, apparently, by using shield. Just bear in mind that you still need to submit your code before you can use it. Also, the taunts are adorable. Again, we'll be heading to the training mode just so I can show those off. Code missile. To properly demonstrate all the code options that Wes can access, we've headed to the training room. Take a look at this. Items you can input include setting an X value, setting a Y value, changing the... is it HSP, VSP? HSP plus 6... horizontal and vertical something. You can also change the position of the chair, which, yes, it counts as a separate sprite. And further, looking at the hints for this character, it seems like wherever you are isn't where the missile comes out of. It's the chair. Horizontal and vertical position. Oh, no, wait. Speed, maybe. Let's see here. So, speed plus 6. Gravity minus 0.5. Strong charge. 20. Execute. Oh. Okay, that's amazing. You can also delay effects as well. Apply. And as you can see right there, it applied one effect delayed for a period of time, then applied the second and third. But of course, all of this is really cool, but it's also impractical in some cases. Again, it takes a while to properly write up the string of code that you're trying to make. That's why it's especially important to pick and choose when you choose to pull out your laptop. If you don't have time, sometimes it's better to end your code string early. Other times, it's better to save it for later in case you have a good string going. Like I said, this is one of the most complicated characters, period. And I love it. But then again, I also love just gimmicky characters across the board. Anything that gets you to think is just amazing. And speaking of think, I think we're in the middle of an apocalypse here. Who brought out the T-100? Nemesis, I mean. T. Nemesis-T here is one of the largest fighters in Rivals, period. And he's got an interesting kit to him. He's a beefy chunker. Yeah. His recovery is pretty terrible. However, by hitting this shield in the air, you could pause the more detrimental part of that. For a base special, rocket launcher. The missile is a bit tricky to use in many cases. Specifically because it flies over most units' heads. It can have its practicalities. Especially considering down special. Down special allows you to create a zombie. This zombie will roam around the field, and if it touches you, attack you. When it attacks you, you get infected with the T-virus. Units afflicted with the T-virus take extra damage from most of your attacks. There are vaccines that exist, and you're going to need to use them after a delay. Otherwise, you will constantly be at the mercy of the T. Flame. Stake up. Your zombie minion doesn't last forever, so after you've lost him, bring him back the first chance you can. Continuing your stagger pressure with your zombie minion is important. Where's Chris when you need him? I'll take Sheva. It just occurred to me, I didn't use his side special attack. This tentacle apparently... Yep, it grabs the opponent, and apparently, any tentacle attack that this guy has a tipper. That tipper allows him to inflict T-virus whenever he wants. That's impressive. Okay, you know how I said there weren't going to be any meme characters? I was telling the truth. There's just one problem. I didn't say anything about joke characters. Yeah, we got an office chair. At that, I also figure, hey, for extra hilarity, why not go to the grocery store? After all, you can find these office chairs at an Aldi. I've been to one. I know this. Office chair here is a unusual fighter. Very deceptive, very short range. But he's got some kit to him. You can toss out junk for a projectile attack every so often. You can also take your opponent for a ride. Besides, because who exactly can resist the charm of a roller chair? No one. Not even me. I should know. I use one daily. Whee! Up special allows you to catapult yourself into the air by rotating your wheels. Down special allows you to create a fax machine. This fax machine will, on a delay, spew out extra platforms. You can use these for recovery or for additional pressure. It does take a while to restock, however. The printing paper is expensive, didn't you know? exactly charge that the right way. Yeah. While the side and down smash attacks don't really have that much range to them, you can use them while sliding. That can more than make up for the difference. The up smash attack has a lot more range than most others do. Alright, that's enough swagging. Time to take a seat. Well, maybe not necessarily a seat, considering we're off on a roll. Introducing yet another strange fighter, Flo. This character is one of several characters that are entries into the Rivals of Aether 2 contest. I wasn't expecting to sweet spot the timing on this one, specifically because I didn't even know there was a contest going when I had plans for the event. If anything, the contest started up sometime around October, and I'd been planning this ever since the last event had gone. Flo is a very fast character. You're going to be taking advantage of her roller skates more than anything. Not just to close the distance, but also set up traps. Down special requires you to input it twice before it can actually do something. These cones can interact with a few different attacks, like the base special, which allows you to send a cone forward. A projectile. It is dependent on things to land on to travel on, though. That's why the cones exist. Ah! Cones will link up with one another anywhere. Use this to create dangerous setups, depending on the stage. Up special will fling you forward and then downward. It might be familiar if you happen to play, what was that, Incineroar. Doing so while you have cones out on the field will catapult them in the direction that you're facing. You can use this to check the opponent and create setups. Side special. I don't have too many practical applications for yet. I don't even quite know how it works. It seems to be Wolf Flash with an additional tipper. Then again, Wolf Flash already had a tipper to it, so it makes sense. It's just a strange addition for the character, period, because I don't necessarily see how it helps with the setups that she usually wants. Maybe I'm just short-sighted in that respect. She does have Kit to her, and it's interesting. Okay, that's enough messing around me. Actually win the fight. Try that. Alright. Next up, we have, and I can't believe I'm saying this, a functional Digimon! Gallantmon here is a very slow character, but he makes up for it with a very, very powerful moveset. Case in point, Gallant Charge. It counts as a grab attack, which you can then set another input to fling the target into a direction. Yeah, it's multi-input. Base Special can block attacks and charge up a powerful projectile. You can stalk the charge using your shield button. At full power, it creates a piercing beam. Try that. Up Special is a downward-facing shield attack. You can also charge in this mode too, giving you more aerial maneuverability. Yeah. Down Special is a parry. Shield and counter. Uh-oh. Try that. Yep, it's a Marth counter. Try that. Ag! Nice shot. You actually hit me with that. Nice. Try this. Charge up. Try that. Crap. I missed. There we go. I can't believe I got gimped on that one. That's fine. I'll make up for it. Ori isn't hard necessarily, just annoying. Just need to add zone him. Yeah. And done. Now, supposedly, the creator of this next mod jokes that they should probably be hired for Studio Trigger, and I need to at least partially agree. These are very expressive sprites, and this character is yet another anime reference, because of course it is, but I had to include it specifically because the kit that's here is amazing. This particular character, I'm sorry, I'm gonna forget the name. Her shtick is based on aggression. As you advance toward the opponent and successfully hit them, or otherwise retreat from the opponent and get hit, the meter above your HP will increase or decrease respectively. When it fully maxes out, you'll go full aggro mode and have more power in all of your attacks. The opposite will also happen when you completely minimize. Up special allows you to just dash 8 directions. Base special allows you to throw an explosive projectile. Ah, I just soured that. Try that. Did I get credit for landing that? Twice? Try that. Side special acts like Marth's Dancing Blade, allowing you to input up to 4 times and then change the... Does it change how the effect comes out based on the directions you're inputting? Down is a flurry, up is a launcher, base is a side launcher, that type of thing. Base special normally has to be charged. At full aggression, it's max charge and then some. Down special is a grab attack. It also acts as a free means of gaining aggression. At full aggression, like that, it turns into a powerful kill option. And because I like combo characters so much, we have Dust. For those who are aware or unaware, Dust in Elysian Tale was a game from, I believe, 2008 that was very furry influenced and in many cases acted as a gateway for many and many children. Dust here is no exception in that respect for lots of potential. I'm also eternally grateful that I can continue to do undoing on enemies. That is such a Suikidae option. Base special allows Fidget to throw out a series of projectiles. These projectiles can interact with your Dust Storm, allowing you to duplicate them or gain extra effects. Just be aware, using both techniques, base special and side special, will use your exhaustion, and at minimum exhaustion, you will take extra damage. These attacks also get locked out then. Up special is much like Clouds in the respect that it's 2 inputs. The first input allows you to catapult the opponent upward, the second input is a spike downward. It is very easy to stun lock opponents with the kit that you get here. Down special allows you to change Fidget's projectile. Yes, she gets the fire projectile, and also the electrical projectile. Just be warned that every successive projectile in order uses up more of your exhaustion. Pick and choose. Ow. Try that. Yeah. And... crap. Dust Storm will also reflect the opponent's projectiles, I figure I should mention. Nice. Dust Storm will also allow you to increase the range of that. You can also use the Dust Storm in the air as an additional follow-up attack. Just bear in mind, there will not be knockback on it. You can use it as a means of extra offstage pressure and follow-up, though. Try that. And thus they've been banished from whence they came. I'd also like to point out, a good chunk of these new characters also have additional hints to them. Some of them I've been explaining as we go along. Others are, blame Amber, not me. Tom. Nice. I don't know what that means. And speaking of creator versus creation, featured from the animation, animator versus animation, we have Yellow. I knew this mod was in existence, but I didn't think that enough people would know about it to warrant me using it. After having tried him out, I figure include him anyway, specifically because the mechanics that we've got here are interesting. Case in point. It's like an improved version of Minecraft Steve. Only very minimalistic. Piggy. With the base special, you can bring out the Staff of Creation. This will drastically power up your attacks and even change your moveset. But bear in mind, it's only got limited power, so use it wisely. Use the base special again to recall it. Up special is Fishing Rod. You can use this as a means to grapple targets. As for its use in the air, it's not going to give you much recovery, period. Again, you're meant to use this as an anti-pressure option more than anything, or a combo tool. It does allow you to tether to the side of the wall, though. Down special, Minecart. You essentially fling a projectile forward. But again, most of your specials change when you have your staff out. Side special is shoot a bunch of arrows. Right, let's bring out that staff, shall we? Side special allows you to grip the target and fling them. Down special allows you to throw out a piece of TNT and then remote detonate it. It can also interact with a variety of other attacks as well, such as that minecart I mentioned. Boing! Ah. Gotcha. I'm losing hard. Oh. So that does increase in range as you use more bone meal. Good to know. Provided you've recalled the staff, you will regain power with it over time. It just takes a while. Again, this character is, much like BX Wright, a character of trade-offs. Do you want to be powerful now or later? And it's a matter of picking when you want to have that power and when you feel it's necessary to have that power. Seems like the side tilt has some follow-ups to it. And it can chain into the base. Cool. Crap. Ah! Well, I guess the creator wins again. Actually, technically in the animation's creation won. Or did they? Look them up. Taking the tradition of adding burn to everything, because everything has to be a Zetaburn-like, we have Void Burn, which is by no means a Zetaburn-like. Void Burn's main gimmick is spreading tar, which you can then ignite using the down special. They're very much a trap-lay character. Though, of course, I'm having the absolute worst set right now, specifically because Claire encounters everything. Hatred. Side special allows you to launch yourself forward, which doesn't have any offensive potential, but it does allow you to create a plant bud, which you can then ignite using your down special. A lot of Voidburn's kit revolves around you setting up traps and oiling the field enough that you can use your down special, ignite, and then create a powerful attack. Or chain. Some of the parts of the kit are a bit strange. For example, the back attack has auto turnaround to it. And the forward attack also catapults you forward slightly, meaning that if you're not great with your positioning, you could overshoot your target. Side special does have its uses in recovery, specifically to give you more aerial momentum so you can then use your up special afterward. Coordination. Yeah. I'm playing around a little too much with the kit. But I can't help it. A lot of the characters this time around that I've selected are just complicated but fun characters in some cases. And I do like that. Ah. Yeah. Try that. I drastically fouled up the follow-up. There we go. Continuing the theme of complicated but cool characters, we have what is currently the frontrunner of this entire contest at a full 5-star rating, Rosso. Rosso looks, all things considered, like a zoner character. He's not. He's very much a trap-lay rushdown character, with a lot to his kit. To start with, I guess up special, technically. Up special is unique because if you use it while you're standing on the ground, you can still use your secondary jump and other kit afterward. Most characters don't have that particular advantage. Side special, you can hold down and float in the air. When you let go, you'll shoot in the direction you're facing. This attack has 360-degree range of fire. You heard me right. No 8-directional. Down special allows you to create a trap, which then sets a lock onto the opponent. If you then use your snipe after you've locked onto the opponent like this, then you will automatically trace to their location and hit them directly. Using it in the air varies when you're on the ground. On the ground, you'll toss it upward. I'd also like to point out, you can shoot the drone and reflect projectiles off of it. I did say that the theme of this particular one is complicated but cool. I'm sticking by this. There are no mistakes here. This is amazing, and I hope this character wins. Base special, missile launch. You'll send out 2 missiles forward. Pretty simple. If the opponent has a lock on them, the missiles will home in on their location. If there's one thing I could say that's weak about Rosso's kit, some of his gun attacks do take a while. Not just for startup, but also end lag. Part of it is specifically because, well, you gotta reload. It makes sense. And as a result, this character has you take some gambles, but also tactically. I'd also like to point out, the forward smash attack can be followed up on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, jeez. Try that. Try that. Just in case. Ah! Come on. I have a cool follow-up line for this. I'd better not lose. I'm gonna be angry if I lose. Mission complete. Returning to base. Time to collect my reward. Next up on our contest entries, a bit of a jankier character, but I couldn't help but include him anyway, because some aspects of his kit are interesting. Supposedly, this guy's a wrestler of some type. He's got a lot of meat to his attacks, but for whatever reason, I kind of struggled killing with him. Yeah. Side special is a ramming attack. It takes a while to recharge, such I don't understand why on that one, considering it doesn't seem to do all that much. Maybe I'm missing something. Up special is a body slam. When used in the air, the landing motion has some extra power to it. Down special, much like Knuckles, allows you to create some tunnels in the ground, which you can then escape through by tapping down. You'll also attack what's on the other side of the tunnel. And lastly, forward special, Firm Grip. From this attack, you can perform a myriad of different throw actions. It all depends on the directions that you input. Also, while you might think this guy's recovery isn't all that strong, you can use it to climb walls and jump up them. Ah, crap. Oh my god! I'm losing this handedly. Try this. Gotcha. Use your opponent's momentum against them. That's the way of the wrestler. Speaking of momentum, we don't necessarily have a meme character so much as a joke character. It's time to defend against the zombies. Melonpolt here is a bit of an odd pick, but hear me out on this. Again, complicated but cool. A good chunk of Melonpolt's kit revolves around projectiles, and generally, melons period. Down special allows you to create a bloom that interacts with most melon-based attacks that Melonpolt has, such as the down air, which lets you catapult, and the basic special, which Melonpolt. The melon supposedly does a lot of damage, and I don't know if you can charge it up. Oh yeah, you can charge it up, I think. No, never mind. I'm thinking side special. Eh! Side special allows you to grab the opponent and toss them much like a melon. Boing! Try that. Okay. Come on. Up special, pretty standard. This is a pretty standard rising attack special. Nothing remarkable there. Am I actually gonna get 3-0'd by this guy? No. Denied. Try that. Yeah, I guess I am getting mostly 3-0'd. Jeez, Arcane, when did you get so powerful? Either that, or I've gotten rusty. Probably the latter. I actually haven't opened this game up until, yesterday. I'm getting to put myself into boot camp. Next up on the list... I did say list, right? Not Lisk? Jeez, I think this game is doing something to me. Rhyolisk here is in some cases like a fiery version of Sylvanos. Only instead of ingraining seeds everywhere, which you can then use to capitalize and grow plants, you're incinerating the earth itself, and on the incinerated parts of the world, you can explode it to deal some extra damage. Or just generally be more capable. Try that. Base special allows you to throw a pointed rock at the ground. This rock will, after a delay, explode, incinerating what it touches. On exploded ground, it deals extra damage, and creates, well, fire geysers. It will also repair the land afterward. Use a side special while you're on charred ground to travel further and have more attack power on the follow-up attack. Oh boy. Oh! Alright, let's try that again. Down special allows you to Bowser Bomb. Essentially, return directly to the ground. On charred ground, you'll explode it. Certain attacks will certain other tilts will also create charred ground, which you can use for follow-ups. I started that too early, I guess. Try that. Just the tip, please. Maybe it's just one of the Steam sales that's going on, but I have a craving. A craving for Sheeran the Wanderer. Can't believe I'm saying this. Alternatively, it could just be this particular character that we're using right now. Bajra is a samurai, a wandering warrior. The big shtick with his kit is, believe it or not, money. Money makes the world go round, and it sure does improve the sword. Use down special, successfully, to gain a bunch of it. Base special allows you to fling coins, which, if you flung enough of them and successfully hit the target with them, will power up your side special. You can also do some tricky combos with them. The coins themselves have no killing potential. It's all about gimmicking and trickery. Up special is a teleport slash, pretty standard in that respect. Try that. Yeah. Provided you've hit the opponent with coins, side special has a lot more range to it. And killing potential. Try that. I love this character. If I were to pick any single character for second place, Bajra would barely miss first. Just saying, if I were to have the sole decision on the contest, it would probably be either Bajra or otherwise Rosso that gets the top prize. I might even give it to both of them. Hey, yo! I'm mostly saying that because this character's weapon is a yo-yo. Introducing Wren, a tricky character. Yet again. Wren's shtick revolves around an aquatic yo-yo. She's got very good range to her attacks. In some cases, I could argue that it's a little too complicated, or otherwise could be simplified for less button pushes for the same thing. Side special is... yeah. It's the Link Shield one. Though you can do a bit more follow-up with it compared to Link. Here, it definitely feels more a part of the kit that helps her chain. That's her big shtick. That's her big MO, really. Chain potential. We could toss out a yo-yo, which we could then hold down special to bring to our location. We could also... let's see. Attack and up special. Travel to the yo-yo's location. That's the one thing that I feel like could be simplified about this input. Like, it's cool, but I feel like that's the wrong combination of buttons. It makes sense considering High Tide, which is her up special. Oh, yeah, give it some more utility. But I feel like it could be improved a bit. Actually, if anything... hold on a second. Yeah, down special and base special are about the same thing, so you can sub one of them out and be fine. I don't necessarily see the practicality in two different ways to call the yo-yo. For a character like Bridget, it makes sense, but again, that's because Guilty Gear is a 2D fighting game. Wait, how do I explain this? Because technically this is also a 2D fighting game. Okay, it's the type of 2D fighting game where there's more tactics. No, that's not right either. There's plenty of tactics here as well. It doesn't fit having the same special on two buttons effectively. Because at least in Bridget's case, you're technically using two different inputs for the same option, but one of them is offensive, the other is supportive, if that makes sense. Like, one is attack when the projectile goes forward, the other is attack when the projectile returns. Here, that's not happening. It's fling out projectile with one button, fling out projectile with one button. And it seems like the recall action can also be used to attack the opponent. Cool. This character does have some really expressive artwork, though. I'll give credit where it's due. She's cute. It also seems like the yo-yo has a maximum range, too. And I want to say her smash attacks have tipper properties. Yeah. That's fun. Try that. 2 characters to the end, and we have a literal necromancer. The uniqueness of this kit revolves around the corpse double, actually. It only lasts for a specific amount of time, but when you call it out, it will perfectly mimic your movements. Again, only movements, not attacks. The doll, so to speak, has its own specific bits of the kit. Yeah. Can I chomp you from here? Cool. Base special allows you to call it out. You can then execute attacks just like you would normally. Various attack buttons. You can use this as a means of pressuring your opponent from a distance. Down special does. Might be an interaction with the doll. Yep, it calls the doll to your location. Oh, jeez. Not bad. Side special is a dive, which also counts as a grab. You can then fling your target like that. Try that. Oh, seems like you can grab your doll too. Cool. This character revolves around gimmicking their puppet to put pressure on the opponent, much like T-Series. And lastly, because at this point I'm just making a pattern out of this, we have yet another Sonic. Just saying, it feels like every single freaking Rivals contest I do, I end up having a new Sonic to show off. This particular Sonic is unusual in the fact that it's combo-based. You're meant to be hitting the opponent repeatedly and building momentum. Of course, specifically because this is Clarin, this is going to be a non-ideal matchup. Whee! Did I actually kill her with that? You just gimped yourself, and you call yourself a level 9 CPU? That's impressively bad. But yeah, if you hit your opponent in the air with this Sonic, you can also perform tricks. By hitting Taunt. The timing is a bit specific, you need to plan around it. But by using tricks, you can catapult yourself into the air and make it easier to combo your opponent. Case in point right there. Or in some cases, use it to recover. Crap. Base special, homing attack. You can also gain more boost, by the way, by actually tricking. Oh my gods. Whee! Again, this is gonna be a Sonic that I'm not gonna be great at. Specifically because it's complicated but cool. Whee! Try that. Actually, if anything, this Sonic is perfectly encapsulating my big weakness with Rivals characters, or just characters, period. I use a few too many dash attacks. Which gets me into trouble. And with that, with a unfortunately painful amount of losses, I think I've shown off all the new characters that are going to be appearing this time around. There might be some last-second changes. I don't know for certain. If anything, I kind of just want to play more Phoenix Wright because I'm a sucker.
I've got a bad feeling.
So have an extra Phoenix Wright match because I like treating you guys. Okay, what's with this Leopard ass? I've got legal documents. Okay, I have 20 different objections to that. Won't you try to recover? You annoyed yet? even get to kill with my objection! That match was objectionable. This demo has been objectionable.